It's past 6:30, so I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion from Commissioner Glenn, second from Commissioner Stout. Anyone want to speak to that? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting and dispense with the reading of them. Motion from Commissioner Kelly, second from Commissioner Stout. Anyone want to speak to that? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. We'll go straight into the Health Department report. Ms. Andrew?
Better late than never, right? We did 2,132 visits for 1,923 clients and completed 68 vaccines.
I saw where RFK said that he was gonna pull the COVID vaccine from children and pregnant women. Have you heard that?
That has not affected us yet. We haven't got any information for
Okay.
that. So it hasn't trickled down if that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Then our construction, we're having another meeting tomorrow. We meet, I guess we're gonna start meeting twice a month on a Wednesday, so every other week. They're supposed to start on the roof. Have they started yet?
Not yet.
It's gonna be probably next
Yeah,
week or so.
They're waiting on some materials.
And then we had a little setback with asbestos in the floor, in the glue, is that what
The
you call it?
glue, not the tiles.
Yeah, in the glue, and so we had to get a quote for that, and that'll come out of the contingency, so there's no extra money or anything, but they said that would take a couple of weeks to do, but they can work on the roof at the same time, so hopefully won't set us back in the progress. And we're meeting tomorrow, so there'll probably be a contract that'll be worked out with the person that's gonna do that, and we'll move forward.
I never heard about asbestos being in the glue.
It's in the glue. When we got a report that said that we didn't have any asbestos problems at the mall of the study they'd done. But when they took the tiles up, the black glue that's in there actually has a small portion of that, and it wouldn't be a problem if we were putting another floor down on top of it, but they're gonna have to saw that to put the drains in for the health department, so that creates a dust, so that means then you gotta get the glue off the floor.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the report.
All right. A motion from Commissioner Stout, second from Commissioner Glenn to accept the report. Anyone want to speak to that? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
You guys have a great night. Thank you.
You up, Jeff?
I guess.
All right.
All right. The ending census for June, we had 10 cats in the shelter and 63 dogs. Intakes, we took in 20 cats and 4 dogs for a total of 24 intakes. Adoptions for the month of June, we had 15 cats, 9 dogs for a total of 24 animals.
Is that pretty good?
That's pretty good. Yeah. We had 1 return to owner. That was Buddy, the one that has been out at the pumpkin patch. So, yeah, that made his 3rd trip with us, but he had a big fine to pay this time. And then we had 2 dogs die in care. One of them was a pup, and it had burrowed over into up at the top. Well, we had 1 big pen. We made 4 holding pens, and it had dug under and got into a pen with Ruby. That was a 911 dog that the sheriff had us picked up that was under malnutrition, which was a pit bull. And the girls once they went to feed, they noticed Laney was gone.
Yeah.
And when that happened, the girls searched everywhere that day. And the next morning when they fed, they smelt and went to Ruby's house, and she had killed the pup and it was in the house. So, and our second animal passed away last Saturday. I could have got our camera systems up working now. We had it on film. And I asked, when we get the new shelter, we do not do chain link fence inside the kennel for kennel doors and stuff. The roof and where the door met, the animal that passed away had been, let me get his name, Yeller. He had been getting out on the outside run, so we moved him inside. And 2 mornings we come in, he had actually scooted out between the door and the top cage, and we went in with some big wire. I went to Harbor Freight and got some big wire ties and tried to pull the bar together to keep it. And when the girls come in Saturday morning, you could see him climbing up the fence, and he got his head hung between the two, and that was it. Whenever we get to the new shelter, I'd like to see expanded metal used. You probably know, since you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We used it out at Yorozu.
Yeah.
I think it's number 9 3/4 4x8 sheets is our standard out there we use, and we could use angle, and that way we've got a good flush fit with the door and the roof on top.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. But this same dog had cut one of his pads on his paw real bad. We got in contact. Shelby Smart, that works with us, her sister works for Dr. Maxwell, and she's a godsend because she'll pick up the phone, and she gives us free advice what to do to save us a vet bill. She consulted with Dr. Maxwell, even though we don't use him, and the pad can't be sewed up. So, as everybody knows at Farms or anything, we've got the blue ointment for wounds and stuff. We treated him for that. He had healed, but he was just
You want it out.
wanted out.
Now.
And the girls cried. It really bothered them because they just come in on Saturday to feed, and he was there. So we've got him in the freezer right now. So they wrapped him up in the blanket, and we've got him in a freezer till we can, get him disposed of. So, excuse me, we had a total of 5 road calls, telephone calls, 233, monthly total on donations, $1,230.
Good. Notice that spay neuter from Lucky Falls.
Yep.
That's good.
And we did do the event at the chamber. There was cash involved, so I can't handle cash. So I went up and got the donations, dog food, toys, and stuff like that. And the chamber was last week going to take the money to Darlene Bryant's office. And I don't know what that total was, but it was, a majority of it was in cash. So I can't handle cash down there. And the ladies, once they got everything counted up, they were going to bring it to the trustee, and I'm sure once they do that deposit, they'll let me know, and I'll have it on next month's report.
So with this spike in the adoptions for dogs and cats last month, what you could contribute that to?
I contributed to the fee being waived.
Think so?
I really think so. I mean, you can see when we have the fee on, the majority, and I talked to up at the chamber, Keith with the city, same situation. They have people come in, and most 90% of who comes in to look at animals to adopt can't afford the fee, and they come in because it's been waived.
Right.
So it's up to you guys. My recommendation is to waive it from now on. I mean, you know,
That's how I feel.
and
That's how I feel.
because you can see on the months, like in April, you know, we had the fee on, I think it maybe we only adopted 2 cats in April.
Yeah.
And 2 dogs.
For the majority of this time, we've had the fee waived. It was
Right.
like a couple of weeks.
Just a couple weeks where it, you know, runs over and we're supposed to stop the tent. So you guys will have to address that tonight if you want to continue the, you know, waive the adoption fee.
Well, I mean, no matter what we do, our population pretty much stays where it's at. So I don't see an issue
Okay.
continuing it. You
Real
know.
quick, when I left yesterday, after I'd done the report, all this is the end of June. So we were at 62 and 10, so we got out a couple dogs since we come
So
you
we're
know,
69.
right after 4th of July.
69 dollars?
No, 69 total.
Oh,
Got 3 more.
So, yeah. So, you know,
And the 62 is 59.
the very last page, give you we got 45 dogs that have been there over 100 days.
I mean, I hate to say it, but there ain't no sense in us really looking at that because we can't find anybody that'll put them down.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, that's just
yeah, and
what I'm saying.
I tried to get a hold of that vet that said he would come and recommend, but I couldn't get him to return my call. I Facebook messaged him and called him on the phone twice. Nothing. So, I mean, his name is Jordan Pack. Does that name sound familiar to anybody?
Well,
I don't know.
He's based over there in Milton, just outside of Murfreesboro on the north end.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I still think until we do something more serious with spay and neuter, we're not going to get the help that we're needing. I'll give you an example. This week in my neighborhood, I got called over to a neighbor's house, which is too late. It already happened, but there was a neighborhood cat. The cat had been hanging around my house too, but I assumed it was fixed because he didn't bother my cat, because I've got a cat from the shelter that's been fixed. Well, anyway, evidently he wasn't, and he, to put it lightly, almost killed her cat. So she went to the person she knew who owned it, and they finally confirmed, yes, it's not fixed, and they offered to pay the medical bills, but she said, I just want you to get the damn fixed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so last time I checked, they still hadn't caught him yet. But, you know, I told somebody at work, I said, I'd do a photo op. I know this is on camera, so it's not going to be real. I'd do a photo op, and they could cuff me and say, I got a $2,500 fine for not having my animal fixed, and it'd get more done than what we're doing. Because one person pays that fine, they're not going to be able to fight it because it's going to be hard to prove.
Yeah.
How you going to prove your cat or your dog's not fixed?
Mm.
You know, that's medical. That's easily proven.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just, I might get a $50 fine, I might not.
Yeah.
You know, just like you said about that guy that he got a serious fine because he's a repeat offender.
$220.
I think that might have hit home a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't they, when they spay and neuter, they they leave like a marking? Like my cat is neutered, and he's got his ears clipped with a beak, and that's how he got. So I know he got fixed. I think it was
Mine did.
Cookville.
That's where mine is.
Yeah, mine didn't, but I've heard
Well, I'm just
that.
saying, like, there's a way to show that, you know, if the owner of that situation,
Yeah.
if there's a clipping,
Yeah, but it's pretty easy to see.
I tell you what,
well, obviously.
Yeah.
what I am doing now, before we were just under previous management down there, we were just taking loads of animals and having them fixed. And we've still got those animals down there fixed and they're unadoptable. I stopped that. You adopt the animal out, we hold it.
Yeah.
And I've got Lana out at Mountain View Vets, and she gets me in within 2 days. So we keep the animal, we transport it out there, and they pick it up. and that seems to work. And something else, I get calls on a regular basis about, does the county help with spay and neutering? And I give them Paul's clinic number. So I don't know, Blaine, you know, if you guys may want to look at, do we want to give certificates or do we want to help residents that can't afford it?
I wouldn't have a problem. I mean, that's what
You know,
money's for.
they add, you know, I probably get 4 or 5 calls a week. Do you guys help? And I say no, but I do give them Paul's Clinic, and it's my understanding that Paul's Clinic, you know, if you're on Social Security or something, they'll give you a reduced cost like that. So you know.
Didn't back in the day, like it was when I was in high school and stuff, but there was like days that they said, hey, the so-and-so clinic's here to do
Free
free spay for a day, or it was like $25, something.
Yeah,
it
they
was
used
something.
to do that. Yeah. I don't know why I mean,
I
we had some with our animal control before where they'd do that, but I don't know. I think they're overwhelmed, you know, and that's one of the reasons why it's hard to get the extra help that we used to get is they're just overwhelmed right now with what they've got. Because I actually, my daughter's friend works at the new one.
Mountain View.
Mountain View,
Dr.
yeah, I
Mountain,
won't say her name, but they're maxed out. And, but yeah, I don't have a problem using that money. That's what they donate it for. They donate it for spay and neuter.
Yeah.
I think if somebody called and said, look, I've got a cat and it's not fixed and we could help it, it could prevent 4 or 5 more.
The cat issue's a hard thing to handle on Blaine because we're getting into, he got a call last week, and then they called me. They're not satisfied with what Jeff tells them. And this is actually 2 feral cats.
Mhm.
And they think that we can handle the feral cats. But I had to explain this one. We can't handle these feral
Right,
cats
right.
because they're not adoptable. If we took them down to the shelter,
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with them because
No,
so I agreed to take them myself and put them on the farm and put them in a hay barn.
right.
And that's going to get them fixed. But she couldn't even catch them to do that.
Yeah,
And
I agree on
well,
that.
she caught them, but
Yeah.
they tore her cage up and got out.
So
So it's
They're dangerous.
They're
They're
basically
really
just
dangerous.
wild animals. What people
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah.
But we keep getting calls that she's like, well, animal control is supposed to come do this. No, animal control don't do that. That's not what we're doing.
What I tell everybody, we don't deal with feral cats at all.
Yeah,
And even when they want to surrender a cat, like usually what it is, it's somebody that's moving, they can't take the animal with them.
right.
We take them in, but they have to bring them in a crate. They have to take them out, and they have to show us that they're not feral.
If they don't go pew,
Exactly.
disappear,
Well,
they're probably not feral.
Shelby puts on the gloves.
Yeah.
That they look like welder's gloves.
Yeah.
And we make sure that way because like Terry was saying, it's dangerous to the employees down there.
Yeah.
And you can't adopt one out because you can't, the liability of, adopting out and somebody get injured, you can't do that. And
Well, y'all remember Nicole? She came for a while. She had done like 900 feral cats at one time, catching them herself and fixing them and then turning them loose. And it was just too much. I mean, I think she's had to back off because she said the waiting list was unreal of people that would call and say, I got feral cats, and she was doing the community a service by doing it, trying to keep the population down, but they just keep producing.
the city animal shelter, they don't even deal with cats.
No.
I get, and a lot of times they refer them to me.
Yeah.
But we try to help everybody. Everybody's a taxpayer. We want to do the best we can.
Yeah. What is the city's policy on dogs?
Cats or
Dogs, as far as how long do they keep them?
Well, they have 12 or maybe it's 15.
15, I heard.
Yeah. I mean, to say it nicely, they only have so much space.
they don't. Like
Does it have a time limit or anything?
Depends on how much that
Yes.
phone rings.
yes, they.
It depends on if you got a dangerous situation.
Right, exactly.
They're gonna have to take that animal.
Right.
And they have to, The animal
Right.
has to go somewhere.
Keeser, a nice guy at the city, and I got to know him at the adoption event, and we talked, and he offered me assistance, and I offered him assistance too. So try to work together. But
Well, back on the spay and neuter, what if we made it to where, we're not talking about feral animals. We're talking about domesticated dogs or cats. If someone expresses a need and, that they want to help.
I've
get
talked to Robert a little about this, and he said we'll have to set some guidelines.
Okay,
Because he said you can't just come along and offer that to anyone that need. He said you'll have to have something down in place, because he said the problem becomes we're a taxpayer entity.
yeah,
And he said, it
They
doesn't
gotta be a
matter. It
county
doesn't matter
resident.
where you've got to set probably a limit on their income, and they've got to show you proof.
I think that's what Paul's clinic does. You got to prove your income
And
and stuff.
that's something probably the committee needs to work on, because he said if we just went out and said we're going to pay for spay and neuter, he
Yeah.
said, and you're going to have to prove. We do have some issues with neighboring counties where some people want us to take the animals.
Right, I've had a call the other day. A guy from Manchester
Stevie
called.
gets in this situation, we're right there on the line,
yeah,
and the dog's in DeKalb County, and they want to bring it to Warren County.
yeah.
And he said that'll definitely have to be setting guidelines that you're a Warren County resident,
Right.
and there'll need to be something put in place.
And I didn't bring that up to create us a monster. I just, Blaine mentioned spay and neuter, and
Well, we got $700, already in 1 month. I mean, it'd be a shame for it to just sit
but
there.
if you guys could come up with a way, to do that, but we probably get 3 or 4 calls a week. Won't know if we assist with it, and
Could you get with Paul's and find out what their criteria is?
Sure.
Obviously we'd want to be a county resident, but find out what their income, we can kind of look at what they're doing,
okay,
and maybe it might be something we could take what they do and add that you got to be a county resident.
The biggest issue with that, if I'm in DeKalb and Scott's my brother and he lives in Warren, I say, here, take my cat.
pass it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're fixing.
So how you gonna
You-
prove who owns
You
that?
can't. You can't. That's it's like speed limit. How they know that you're breaking speed limit on the way to work every day unless they actually see you. They don't.
Yeah.
It's just, when you get caught, you got to pay the piper.
But what the best thing that we've done is we hold the animal, we adopt it out, we hold it, and we take it to the vet, and then that way we ensure that the animal gets fixed. And Anna, the office manager, and I work close to that, and it works really well. I mean, we get them adopted and get them in, and then the adopt the person, the afternoon once the pet. It's the same day procedure, so they call the contact that owns the animal, and they can pick it up.
While you are talking about that, we did receive $1,100 on the grant that Casey, we filled it out. We got $1,100. That's
Good.
not huge, but
Yeah. It's
we
better.
wrote in the grant that we would match it through some of the money we're using to
Good.
do spay and neuter. So that helps a little,
Good.
every little bit.
Yeah.
So we did do our job on that.
Well, you can reach out to Paul's. I can reach out to Mountain View. We can kind of talk to some people between now and the next meeting and discuss it further. And if you have any ideas between now and then, get in contact with Terry or shoot an email. That way we can all be kind of looking at what ideas we have. But I think first we need to vote on extending the free adoption. I mean, it's really the only thing right now that's actually opening up some space,
Right.
that is needed because, it's needed. So I'd entertain a motion to expand it. Let's look at this because we've let it expire before. And Wendy, and I may have messed up, not told her when the meeting was, but she had sent me, and she may have sent it to you, Terry, the House Bill 2085 where we're actually not supposed to be allowing animals out. That's not spayed and neutered anyway. It's a House bill. And I'm not sure the year of this, but anyway, she sent it to me and I was aware of it, but at the same time, I know that there's been circumstances where things happened out of our control. but that backs it up. So I think we need to go probably at least 3 months now. I mean, would y'all think at least? I mean, we're stepping into, I am hesitant to go period just because it's that skin in the game thing at the same time. I mean, but so far, we really haven't had anybody bring any back. I mean, not that stands out.
We had one that come back, and that's because the gentleman passed away. His son brought it back,
Yeah.
and the next day, the animal got adopted out. So, that's the only one we've had come back like that.
How about we go to October the 10th? That gives us time to work out the spay and neuter situation. What?
The holidays, people, November, December, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my teeth into that.
You want to have doing the Christmas presents?
That is big.
Kids do that all the time.
I know.
Why don't you just extend it to the
All
end
right.
of the year?
All right, how about December the 12th? That'll get us to our next meeting, our meeting in December.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking.
fine. That'd be good. I'll make that motion.
I've got a motion from Commissioner Glenn, second from Commissioner Stout. Anyone want to speak to that? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Because I mean, a chance is better than no chance,
Mhm.
and that's the thing that we're looking at on this.
December 12th, you said?
I know, like the.
Well, that's really the only
Papers,
program that's got
Ollie
some of the
and ours,
animals
we're doing
out of the
sport
shelter.
dogs a week.
Yeah.
So if you care about the animals,
Yeah.
the program is.
Used to, we relied on our rescue groups. They would just
Yeah,
bring them
that's
out.
something I had a big issue. I had a woman call me and she was, of course, upset that we were going to euthanize some animals. And after I talked to her, and she was touting the spay and neuter thing, which everybody needs to do that. I'm aware of that and everything, but she was quoting to me what states had it and everything. And I said, ma'am, we call those rescues. I said, can you explain one thing to me? If those laws are working, why are those rescues full? Why are those shelters full?
Yeah, they used
The
to-
laws are not even working.
Right.
So it's one of those deals where it's a national problem.
Yeah.
And just passing another law just creates problems for the court system, the sheriffs and everything. Education's about the only way you can make this work. And the county is really, I don't think up until now, got serious about trying to provide programs and do things to spay and neuter. This is the first time the government's done that.
I hope you're right. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Got a couple more things.
Yes.
Jason Hillis, talked to him yesterday. He want to let everybody know that the insert for the truck is scheduled to be to Nashville August the 1st.
August the 1st.
Yeah. And also I took the van over to Mark Bus over on Sparta Street.
Yeah.
And for under $800, the van is in great shape. AC's running, defrost running, it's got brand new tires on it. He did a complete service on it. And we're not letting the van set.
Good.
We take all of our vet runs, we take the van. That way it's getting some road time and not setting. So
Yeah, he
But-
worked on it last time.
yeah, the AC works real, before the AC defroster didn't work, he got all that fixed. Everything's took care of. Good tires, oil changed. So we got 2 good vehicles now.
So that box that's gonna go in the back, that's gonna have AC in there?
Yes, that goes in the Ford truck, yes.
We need to talk about roof.
Yep, you need to pick out some metal because I've got to have the metal. He is put the plate on today. The crane will be there tomorrow, and the trusses will be set probably tomorrow afternoon. And we've got to have a color.
Y'all look at it and see what you like.
I will tell you this: he recommended not using red or green
Amen.
because it fades.
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, it
He
does.
said what was a lot popular now that's not fading is bad. He said a lot of people are just going black, just a black roof.
That's gonna attract heat, won't
It may, but he said the problem you've got with a lot of these other colors is they fade. But I mean, it doesn't matter.
What about just the metal look,
That I've thought about that myself, just the old fashioned metal, but I don't know how that holds up.
Well, he's got the gal aluminum on there.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm
he
talking.
said that it's just
It looks like galvanized metal.
it? Yeah.
it's just kind of a sparkle.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Silver. And I mean, that would be, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It just, but we need to pick out color.
I haven't seen a color that don't fade. I have seen some black ones that fade, but it does take a long
And
time.
we could have put the galv aluminum on it if it's looking bad, then we paint.
I think I told you guys last meeting, my house has got green metal on it. The
Yeah.
back looks great. My front faces the west and it is faded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to paint it.
I'm not gonna suggest, I'll let y'all suggest.
I say brown.
Brown?
How many aggressive dogs you got?
This is a women's charm.
Several.
Let's say
We are working on the house
Aggressive.
right now.
Yeah.
You have to really be careful with them.
Aggressive
What do you say,
enough
Steve?
that
The bone white, I'd either do bone white, I would do
Two
black,
ladies.
or I would do the galvanized one.
has a hard time with
There you go.
moles in it.
That's simple.
If you wanna look chic and, modern, go with black. If you wanna do that bone white, if it fades, what's it gonna hurt?
Do
It's
what?
gonna be
How
fine.
was it handled?
It's gonna be
in the past,
white,
like
correct.
years ago?
The only thing bad about white is those screws, after they get some years on them, they
Pish
show
bosh.
up terrible. The gaskets.
That's.
Okay, Blaine, pick out a color.
I only said what I like.
The screw's gonna be exposed.
Get the galvanized, then they're gonna be exposed.
Oh, no, we've got
It's
two dogs that's been there over 600 days.
Those are my three colors, because I
That's
think
been
that's the
there
best one, and then the black
It's probably.
almost 600
would, I mean,
days.
eventually, but the bone white would fade, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
The screws will be,
Nine,
will
they've
be
been there.
exposed on this one, right? The
over
screws,
400
they'll be
days.
exposed on this.
Yes.
So that was
Yeah.
the aggressive.
That no
You
one's
still-
gonna see.
Would you still say it's on
It's a
average
real.
Outstanding scene.
10, but today?
I see
Yes.
mine. Oh my garage.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that from,
She said nobody sees the screws. I see mine on my garage. I got a metal garage.
4,
I see
5, 6
And I watch them. When those gaskets start wearing out, I put new ones in. What do you say? Galvanized? What do you say?
Bones and dollars down.
Bone white? What do you say?
I said brown.
that's
I'll say
45
galvanized.
dogs.
There you go, galvanized it is.
Can y'all live with that?
We've got a majority.
What say you? I said galvanized. We got two galvanized, one brown, one white. What say you?
Galvanized.
Three. Did you say galvanized or did you say guys?
Galvanized.
Is that,
But it's galv aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
is that not a standing seam?
No, we couldn't afford to stand.
No.
No,
I'm telling you, in a different bracket.
You way up there. You're up there at the top. You're up there at the top.
That's okay. You earned yours though.
Yeah.
Woody Davenport used to be up high, he's got a white roof on his house. So,
The good thing about the galvanized look, it won't go in or out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
It just means sun.
yeah. The color, no matter what, in 10 years we'll be going black. Who thought of that? You know, just like we did brown in the 80s. We want to bring it back.
if I could do my house over, I'd put it on my house, because I've seen a couple houses with it on there.
Yeah.
Because my wife constantly reminds me that it was my
You made a bad
decision
idea.
to put the green roof on how much she hates it.
This is committee's decision.
You just want somebody to blame, don't you?
Y'all need to add something? Eagle Scout 87? But go ahead.
Nope, we're just here observing for
Those
merit
speeches?
We're looking at this over, there's a reason why you've got dogs here for several hundred days. We need to look at how we can fix this.
We have nobody, period, in any surrounding area that will euthanize a healthy animal.
You may keep it in here.
But we've also asked the taxpayers to put $128,000 in 45 dogs.
I know.
I mean, I don't want to see any animal go
I
down,
agree.
but at the same stroke, there's a reason why, obviously, nobody wants this type of animal.
Well, we're doing behavioral. We've got someone coming in doing behavioral assessments on animals. And
Yep.
She's just classifying them.
She's just telling them whether or not they're unadoptable. And we've got, what, 4 or 5 that's, she said were
Already, yeah,
unadoptable?
already, yeah.
And I know some dogs go that volunteers like myself have picked them up and taken them to, is it Dallas out there?
Dallas, it works for me on the weekend.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
doing the assessments for us.
Yeah, and then some of the dogs are sponsored where they go get trained with her.
Yeah.
So,
You know, what does the vet say when you say, you know, this dog's been here for 500 days and we can't adopt it, but they won't euthanize it? The dog is dangerous.
I actually
to
haven't
the public?
spoken to the vet personally about it since I just took over in May 1st. Terry, did you get a chance?
I've actually spoken to him, and what he says is he is not euthanizing an animal for space. And even though it's been there 500 days,
Regardless of the aggression of the animal, though.
yeah, he said he's just done it too much. He said,
It's
I'm not doing it.
But I mean,
Emotional thing.
they're just
Well,
not,
and I do get that.
And what it does, I mean, from their standpoint, they say it tears up the whole staff at their veterinary clinic because they really care about the animals. And I understand that. It's
see
an
all
emotional
that.
form.
Is there certain ways of euthanizing?
It doesn't matter. The way they do, everybody here's probably had an animal euthanized.
Yes.
Because, it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but you basically, they give them the shot that knocks them out. They're already,
it's peaceful.
but
Right.
but the point is, the vets are not going to do that either. They're just not. That's the bottom line. That's why, just like he had somebody we thought a month ago that would do it, told him he would do it. Now he won't answer the phone.
You won't answer my call or return my call. I left messages on
Well,
Facebook and everything. I can't get into
A
return
lot
my
of
call.
folks now, though, with all the social media and all the controversy it carries, they don't want it to carry over into them. When
No.
it gets out, they did.
That
Right.
is a lot of the problem you run
Yes.
into. Everything that
Well, and then, like
And
you're
for
saying, there
business.
is the needle point. But is there other methods that would be just as, like a pill that you can give on there or something? I wonder.
I don't
Or is there something else you can use besides?
I don't know.
There's state guidelines you gotta follow.
yeah.
okay.
It's all on the internet. It's the state. I've got all the rules and regulations printed off and in my desk, but I've read them extensively. And the state legislatures are afraid to go too far into things. You know what I'm saying?
Liability.
Yes, they don't, but it just spells it out real quick. To euthanize, you've got to be, turn your paperwork in, and it's got to go to the veterinary board, state of Tennessee, gets approved, and then you got to apply for your license to do it with the state, and then you got to stop the medications, and it's got to be, like Blaine was saying, it's got to be, the animal's got to be put to sleep, and then you put it down, and,
And it's not because of the committee, because we voted months ago to allow those ones that were deemed unadoptable to be put down.
Yeah.
And at that point, we started looking, and we have run through every suggestion that was given to us. And at this point, nobody will do it.
we've got two very, very, very dangerous dogs down there. I mean, that would really injure somebody.
I believe it. I believe it.
And when they get fed or watered, they got the,
Collar.
they're very dangerous.
I
It's just
believe
hard
it.
to believe, though, that there's not something that, because,
Well,
we
I
have,
think it's just the controversy of nobody here wants to touch that because of the backlash on that's just like the woman called me. She was irate that morning about we were going to put 4 dogs down. I mean, she was just, and nobody, and whoever does it has to take that backlash, and it's out who done it.
oh, yeah. Well, we we had, a few years ago, a deputy had put one down for us.
Yeah.
And I lost a friend over that. I guess he probably wasn't a friend to begin with, but I thought he was. But because he came to our committee meeting, you probably remember, and was saying we put the dog down and shouldn't have. We had video of that dog. That dog was like what you're talking about. That dog was waiting to kill somebody.
Yeah. I've got bear repellent and stuff in my truck in the case. If that dog was to get on somebody, I couldn't wait for law enforcement to get there.
Right.
Okay.
You'd have to, yeah.
I've got to do it. So there's stuff in the console of my truck, but it's just the girls they're terrified when they have to feed these two specifically.
I don't guess there's certain shelters that just accept those type of dogs.
Listen, we can't get anybody to take anything off of us. We've offered $100 donation for every animal. They want it, Penny out at Mountain View Vets, she tried to help me get hooked back up with the ones we shipped to up north, and they're completely full.
Yeah.
It's just, everybody's just like we are. Yeah. They're completely full.
It don't matter whether they've got a spade, neuter, or
It doesn't, no. And
that's not what's solving it.
And we just quit calling because it was to the point like we were harassing people, Yeah. And one lady told me, said, "Listen, I've told you a couple times we can't get."
Yeah, they're doing all they can do too.
Yeah. So.
Anybody else? Right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Did we make a motion to accept his report?
No.
No. All right, I'll make the motion that we accept the report.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Stout. Anyone want to speak to that? If not, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And now I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Commissioner Stout.
Scott.
I'll second that one.
And all in favor? Any opposed?